All right, week 9, college football breakdown here. Interesting battle in the ACC. On Saturday night, we got Pitt traveling to Chapel Hill, taking on North Carolina, saying the Tar Heels at home is a 3-point favorite and a pretty high total. And, we've come to expect that in North Carolina games. 65 and a halves is what we're seeing right now. I have a little bit of PTSD here because I bet Pitt last week at Louisville. Keaton Slovis played terrible. Turnovers were a major deciding factor in that game. It didn't come through. But quite frankly, though, I'm thinking about going right back to the well with them this week. Out of principle, when you're talking about teams like North Carolina that are very much eye candy teams, everybody knows how well Drake May has played. Everybody knows that they can create explosivity through the air. This team is not good in the trenches, and they're not good defensively. And I think a lot of judgments get made about teams more for their passing game and the things that pop than do the things that actually matter more, which is offensive line and defensive line play. This North Carolina offensive line is not good. Going up against this Pitt defense, where I do like their pass rush. It hasn't gotten as home as much lately as I would have liked, but this is a team that for a long time I've been able to trust them getting after the quarterback, and we've seen it. This is certainly a matchup where I think Pitt will be able to get pressure on Drake May. To be quite honest with you, I made a very similar play on Notre Dame when they played in Chapel Hill about a month ago. And that was a time where nobody wanted to bet on Notre Dame. They had such an advantage in the trenches that it made it hard to pass up. And what happened? Notre Dame looked as good as they had all season, and that game wasn't even close. This feels eerily similar. Nobody wants to bet on Pittsburgh right now. They've been too inconsistent. Not particularly a great spot for them, being their second straight road game. I will say they are desperate for a win, and I think they're going to get one here. The other aspect of North Carolina that I really don't like either, and, this is no breaking news, defense is really just not good. Their run defense in particular has been quite inconsistent this year, and I think their secondary is only really mediocre. Pitt's offense leaves some to be desired. Keaton Slovis is a guy that I've said, we have to think Keaton Slovis last year was being talked about as his first-round caliber pick. He was never that guy, and he's not that guy now. I still think that he's capable of taking advantage in this matchup. We saw him in some of his more favorable matchups this year, like against West Virginia, like against Tennessee, be able to create explosive plays in the vertical passing game. This is a spot where I think he can do that, and this is a good bounce back matchup for him. Pitt has really reverted back to the run game this year, and Pat Narduzzi is extremely insistent on doing so, even though they had a great offense a year ago. Had a lot to say about Mark Whipple and the way he ran that offense. All it got him was an ACC title, but he's been so quick to go away from that. But like I said, North Carolina is so poor within their run defense that I actually think it will work in this matchup. We've seen Israel Abanikanda over 6 yards per carry this year. He's had some monster days on the ground for Pitt. This could be another one of them. I'll say it again. This feels eerily similar to when I backed Notre Dame at North Carolina. Nobody wanted to be on Notre Dame at the time, but offensive line and defensive line play is what matters most. Contrary to what other people tell you, everybody loves North Carolina because of Drake May. And there's certain matchups, like when they played Virginia Tech, for example, like Virginia Tech's offense is that bad to where, I think North Carolina is just going to be able to outscore them. The UNC, in my mind, has been pretty unimpressive for most of the season. Give up 61 points to App State. Miami probably should have beat them. They needed to scramble at the end to beat Duke. Georgia State even played them close. I just don't think this North Carolina team is very good. And I haven't locked this in yet. I might tease Pitt up to +9 just to get that extra leeway. This would feel like a good teaser spot. We're 2-1 on teasers this year, and should have another one here in week 9. So that's a possibility. Might just take them +3 as well, because I do think Pitt wins this game outright. No real feel on the total. Ultimately, it's Pitt or pass for me. You see this shirt. Halloween's coming up. We got the Halloween theme. Head over to proud90.com. Unique but very comfortable polos as well. With the colder weather coming, also got a great selection of hoodies and quarter zips. Proud 90 has got all your golf apparel needs. If you see anything you like at proud90.com, use code Fordham at checkout. It's going to get you 15% off your entire order. Code Fordham at checkout is going to get you 15% off your order. Support me, support Proud 90. The rest of the information will be in the description below.